Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize Representative Erwin Tieng of the 5th District of Manila for his sponsorship speech.
The gentleman from the 5th District of Manila, the Honorable Erwin Cheng, Chairman of the Committee on Banks and Financial Intermediaries, is recognized to sponsor the measure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. DBP, the premier development and universal government bank, supports the national government in its shared task of nation building so as to achieve its legal mandate to power the country towards sustainable economic growth. As the country's government-mandated infrastructure bank, DBP expands its role as a stimulus for development. More than 7 decades ago, DBP was tasked to provide an impetus for national rehabilitation to instigate a progressive expansion of the national economy. Notwithstanding the foregoing, there is a need, however, to further amend the revised DBP Charter, Executive Order Number 81, Series of 1986 as amended by Republic Act 8523. Said further amendments will provide and expand the powers and functions of DBP with the corresponding needed increase in its capitalization. Consequently, this will enhance the bank's ability to ensure continuity of developmental service to the nation in the delivery of better products and more effectively serve its clients while complying with the risk-based banking law and regulations. Thus, the following amendments are proposed herein. Number 1, increase in authorized capital stock to comply with risk-based capital ratio and other capital-related BSP regulations in relation to the risk continually assumed by the bank in its developmental mandate. 2, grant of authority to engage in traditional and non-traditional modes of financing business that will allow financing of acquisition and construction of government properties under financing leasing arrangement, such as not but limited to the Philippine embassies abroad. 3, grant of perpetual corporate existence in the light of the recent amendments to the revised Corporation Code, Republic Act Number 11232. And 4, strengthening the conflict of interest provisions to ensure good corporate governance and align with Republic Act 673, which is the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees, among others. For these reasons, I appeal to the honorable members for the approval of this bill. Thank you.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize Representative Franz Castro of the ACT Teachers Party List.
The lady from the Party List ACT Teachers, the Honorable Franz Castro, is recognized to interpellate the sponsor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would the distinguished sponsor yield to some clarificatory questions?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Gusto ko lang linawin, Mr. Speaker, I'm not against this updated or pag-update po ng charter ng Development Bank of the Philippines. I just would like to have some clarification on the amendments as stated by the author. So, yung number 1, Mr. Speaker, this is institutionalizing itong Development Bank of the Philippines kasi since 1986, the charter is due to Executive Order Number 81. Correct?
Since yung last amendment was 1998.
Okay. So the last amendment was in 1998. So gusto ko lang malaman, Mr. Speaker, generally, ano po yung magiging, kasi sinasabi dito, strengthening the DBP, ano po ba yung kaibahan nito doon sa 1998 version ng charter, Mr. Speaker?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yung based on sa usapan namin with the Development Bank of the Philippines, yung unang concern nila is to increase yung capital stock from 35 billion to 300 billion. So, yung sunod naman na isa pang gusto nilang i-amend is magkaroon sila ng ability or they will be allowed na magkaroon ng financial leasing, which is an opportunity para yung Development Bank of the Philippines makabili ng lupa at the same time ipa-rent or ipa-lease to own sa other government agencies and offices. Also, isa pa pong amendment natin doon is yung pagpili ng mga ating mga officers ng bangko. Starting from the pinakamababang officers, kailangan po kasi before ng board approval. So we wanted na amendment wherein ang president pwede siyang mag-hire ng up to vice president. Kasi dati po, kahit regular employees, kailangan po dumaan sa ating board of directors. At another thing din po is gusto nila pong magkaroon ng bigyan ng opportunity na mag-IPO ng up to 30%. So, ibig sabihin nun, mabigyan yung private, yung mga private or yung mga individuals na magkaroon ng opportunity na makabili ng shares of stocks ng ating bank, ang ating development bank ng up to 30%. Yun po. Thank you po,
Okay.
Mr. Speaker.
So, yung unang-una, Mr. Speaker, increasing in the capital stock or capital-related na function ng Development Bank of the Philippines. Kasi ang binabanggit, Mr. Speaker, from magkano ba yun? 35 billion na capital stock ay magiging 300 billion na capital stock. So in other words, parang more than tenfold yung idadagdag. So from 35B to 300 billion. Tapos, alam ko po, Mr. Speaker, yung capital stock ng DBP, 1/3 nun ay nanggagaling sa national government. Tama po ba?
As of today po, lahat po, hindi lang po 1/3, lahat po galing sa national government.
Okay. So, ito, kasi nasa Section 7 yan. So, the capital stock of the bank shall be 300 billion shares with a par value of 100 per share. So, ito yung pinalitan natin, yung 300, from 35 billion to 300 billion. So, yung pong buong yan na 300 billion, so gusto natin i-provide yan from the government budget. Tama po ba?
Hindi po. Base po sa information from the Development Bank of the Philippines, lahat po yan manggagaling po sa revenues ng kanilang bangko. Revenues from operations nila po.
Hindi po siya revenues, Mr. Speaker. Tignan natin yung Section 7 para magkaintindihan tayo, Mr. Speaker. Yung authorized capital stock, par value. So, the capital stock of the bank shall be 300 billion. Kasi as of now, di ba sabi natin, Mr. Speaker, dito, ang improvement is to increase the capital stock at mga capital-related na issues dito. So ito bang 300 billion na ito ay manggagaling ito doon sa national government?
Mr. Speaker, yung yung 300 billion natin is authorized capital stock natin. Hindi pa po ito yung ating paid up capital natin po.
So magkano po yung piniprovide ng government, Mr. Speaker? Kasi yung paid up capital, ang paid up capital natin ay 100 per share. So, kung magkano po yung binibigay ng gobyerno dito, kasi nakalagay 32 billion or 10 and 67 over 100% or 10.67% of the authorized capital stock of the bank shall be subscribed and fully paid by the national government. Kaya nga tinatanong ko, Mr. Speaker, magkano sa ngayon yung pinupuno ng national government dito sa authorized capital stock?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Right now po, 32 billion lang po. So tama po si Ma'am Franz Castro, Congresswoman Franz Castro, na saan natin kukunin yung 200 plus million na ipangbubuno
Hindi.
natin.
So, tama po ako no na 32
Tama po,
to
tama.
35 billion, more or less, ganon.
Yep.
Tapos gagawin natin siyang 300
Itataas
billion, no? Na manggagaling yan. Doon ba lahat sa government fund or budget?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ang tinitingnan po nila na funding source para mabuno po yung 300 billion ay manggagaling po sa revenues ng bangko at pangalawa po yung ating fundraising from IPO na nakasaad dito sa ating charter revision na naglalagay tayo ng provision na pwede tayo mag-IPO ng up to 30% ng shares ng bangko natin po.
Revenues ng bank. As of now po, magkano po ba ang revenues ng bank?
Ang net income po ng Development Bank of the Philippines ng 2024 ay 7.1 billion. Net income po to, 7.1 billion.
Okay. So, 7.1 billion annually. So, ilang taon kaya natin mapupuno, Mr. Speaker? Tapos, ilan ba yung ina-expect natin na manggagaling doon sa IPO? So, kung 7.1 billion na revenue yan, biglang taas kasi tayo, no? Magiging 300 billion from 35 billion, more or less. So, ilang taon kayang bubunuin yan ng Development Bank of the Philippines, considering yung present rate or amount ng revenues ng bank at saka doon sa ine-expect natin, Mr. Speaker, na 30% from the IPO?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Right now po, wala pa tayong figures on magkano po yung maire-raise natin through IPO. Pero nagbigay po ang DBP ng estimated nila based on revenues lang po. Wala pong IPO. It's around 20 years po.
Okay, so 20 years, parang medyo matagal, Mr. Speaker. Well, ang DBP naman ay nagbe-bench, ang kanilang ginagawa ay yung mga capital-intensive project, like yung mga infrastructure. Tama po ba? Sa education,
Correct po.
sa...
But aside from that, meron pa rin pong na-report po sa atin kanina na fully complied sila sa 25% loan availment ng ating mga farmers.
Hindi, aside from farmers, Mr. Speaker, yung mga MSME, kasi alam ko, bukod sa land bank na nag-cater doon sa productivity, mga loans ng ating mga farmers, ay ang DBP ay more on doon sa MSMEs natin. Di ba? Tama po ba? Tsaka
Opo,
farmers.
opo, tama po.
Okay. So doon po sa portfolio, portfolio po ng DBP. So magkano po yung nakaalat, Mr. Speaker, na pondo na nilalaan natin sa MSMEs?
Wala po akong total, pero meron po akong at least an idea, mabigay ko po sa inyo.
Alright.
Like yung sa Broiler Contract Growing Program, 136 accounts, nagkakahalaga ng 4 billion. MSMEs is 27.3 billion ang napaloan nila ng 2024. But just to give you an idea, Mr. Speaker, mga few items natin is Coconut Farmers and Industry Development Credit Program, expanded rice credit assistance, aquaculture value chain financing, Anihan credit program, swine repopulation recovery credit program. Ito po yung some examples ng MSMEs, farmers and fisher folks, na pinapahiram po ng pera ng Development Bank of the Philippines.
Okay, so that is roughly 27% ng total na pwedeng mapahiram ng DBP. How about, Mr. Speaker, doon sa capital intensive na mga loan or program like yung mga infrastructure, whether it is on economic development or educational and other, magkano po yung pinalo-loan natin or what percent of our loan portfolio?
Ang loan portfolio natin pagdating sa infrastructure ay 60.8%, which nagkakalagaha po ng 316 billion, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, ang gusto po natin ay mapalaki pa yung pwedeng ma-loan sa atin nitong mga development projects. Tama po ba?
Tama po.
So, ang mga naglo-loan po ba sa DBP ay mga, aside from yung mga maliliit na negosyante, mga maliliit na farmers, ay mga corporation at
Tama po.
gobyerno.
Tama po, Mr. Speaker.
So, dito po sa malalaking infrastructure project ng government, doon sa 60.8% o 316 billion, magkano po yung loan doon ng government infra
Okay.
projects?
Magkano yun? Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Around 50% po ang na-allocate sa government at hiningi ko na rin po yung example ng pinakamalaki nilang project with the government. Yung po daw ay ang Cordoba Bridge na nagkakahalaga ng 5 billion sa Cebu.
Okay. Pati po ba yung mga, hindi na to government, no? Yung mga, like yung partner contractor ng mga infrastructure, allowed ba sila na mag-loan dito sa DBP? Yung mga partner private sector?
Yes po, allowed sila umutang sa Development Bank of the Philippines.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, how about the return of investment? Lahat ba na nasisingil natin, nakakabayad ba?
Hindi po, ang estimated po ay 5% ang bad debts. So
What is 5%? Ang nakakabayad? Ang hindi nakakabayad?
Ang hindi po nakakabayad is around 5%.
Well, tinatanong ko lang ito, Mr. Speaker, dahil alam naman natin, taon-taon yung infra budget o na nilalagay natin doon sa budget natin through the DPWH at saka iba pang mga partner private sector. So, kung ang Development Bank of the Philippines ay eto pala nagpapautang doon sa ating government. So, hindi ko lang po ma-figure out. So, in what instances or situation na pwedeng payagan ito ng DBP, samantalang hindi ba ito na put doon sa mga budget natin sa infrastructure? Like itong Cordova na bridge, wala po ba itong budget doon sa ating pondo, doon sa GAA?
Mr. Speaker, yung mga infrastructure project na fina-fund ng DBP, it's loans from contractors. Yung bridge, iba po yun, talagang umutang ang LGU doon para sa bridge na yon. Pero yung sinasabi po nating mga umuutang na for government projects, these are contractors na corporation or companies nila ang umuutang sa DBP for a specific project nila.
Okay.
So, ibig sabihin doon, I would assume na meron na silang awarded project or approved project from the government or private sector.
So, hindi po government mismo?
Hindi po.
Okay. So, tinatanong ko lang to, Mr. Speaker, kasi kung yung ating mga MSMEs o yung mga maliliit na negosyo or negosyante ay nakaka-avail ng mga 30% o 27.3%, no, na alam naman natin na marami sa ating mga maliliit na negosyante ay struggling din sila ngayon, no, na nangangailangan talaga ng tulong like ng Development Bank of the Philippines na nagpo-provide ng primary mandate, mag-provide ng loan doon sa ating mga maliliit na negosyo. Kasi kung ito po, yung mga malalaking contractor nakaka-loan po dito sa ating Development Bank of the Philippines, hindi ba't natin pwedeng meron bang strict na rule doon sa pagbibigay ng proportion of loans doon sa big project as to the MSMEs? Talaga po bang 27% lang o pwedeng gawin nating mas malaki para sa ating or yun lang po yung dami nung mga nag-a-avail nung sa loan sa mga MSMEs?
Agad ba kayo? Mr. Speaker, tama po yun, Ma'am Congresswoman. Malaki pa yung kailangan habulin ng DBP at napagbigay alam naman po sa atin na hindi pa sila umaabot sa maximum limit nila. Lahat naman po, open pa rin sila, whether MSMEs or big corporation, open pa sila magbigay ng loan. At isa pang commitment na binigay nila sa akin sa meeting namin kaninang umaga ay magdadagdag sila ng mga branches. Kasi I think isa rin yun po sa mga dahilan kung bakit hindi masyado alam ng ating mga ibang kababayan ang mga services ng ating Development Bank of the Philippines ay dahil kulang po sila sa mga branches nila.